Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and this is another truly great moment for Battlefield 4 in its long and painful history. It seems DICE LA is testing the 120Hz Tickrate on the 32-player server in CTE right now. Now, I did a video on this a couple of days ago already saying how they are trying the new and supremely fast Tickrate in Battlefield 4, but only on a 10-slot server, as they didn't want the server to, as Tigger put it, croak. But I didn't actually have any gameplay for you available from said server with 120Hz Tickrate, as it was empty, surprisingly. Well, now I have some gameplay for you from the actual 120Hz server in Battlefield 4, as you can plainly see from the network performance overlay graph in the corner there. And, well, I have never had so much fun playing Battlefield 4. It seemed so crisp and responsive, and the shots I took, it seemed like they all landed. Even medium range head glitch situations, where the enemy's head was showing and I didn't really couldn't really get a beat on him. I didn't have a problem landing headshots from an assault rifle at a good distance. Or this once I ran out of ammo, pulled out my pistol and took the guy down, just kind of spraying everywhere because, all my shots landed and I wasn't diced for once, as the term would apply, So, all in all, what is the tick rate and why is it kind of important? Well, one of those more important things in an FPS game. Well, I was watching Westy's video on this and he was like, tick rate, update rate, it's all kind of confusing. Now, nothing against his channel, he's got a perfectly fine, good channel, but since you came to my channel, I assume you want to become tactical. So, here's my take on how I see it. Now, the tick rate, or simulation rate, is the rate at which the game updates on the server and on the client PC. Now, this means that the game running on the server updates its physics and conditions like player movement and position and damage and, bullets and everything else. Now, this isn't to be confused with the update rate, or the rate at which the server or the client actually sends data about those things through the interwebs. Now, notice these are two different values, and they don't necessarily have to be the same, coincide. For example, to save on processing power and bandwidth, incidentally, the original Battlefield 4, when it was released, had a tick rate of 30 Hz, which means that the physics updated 30 times a second on the server, but the server sent those updates at 10 Hz, meaning it updated the client 10 times a second. Now, the client updated the server at 30 Hz because the client doesn't need to worry about conserving bandwidth as much. But this also meant that the server sent the updates every third tick. So your game essentially had to figure out what to display in between those ticks, because if the frame rate was higher than the incoming updates, which in this case was 10 Hz or 10 updates a second, the simulation needed to predict how to fill in those blanks and what to display in between those updated frames. Now, this isn't a very good way to go, which is why later DICE joined the client tick rate to the frame rate of the game. Later, DICE also implemented the high frequency update area, or bullet tunnel, as Tigger called it. I'm sure you know by now that this made things inside it update at the highest possible rate, which then was 30 hertz. That's server side. And while this update rate is better than before, it's actually still lacking, because if you play at higher frame rates than 30, we again run into trouble where, as I said, the blanks need to be filled in or guessed or simulated by the game, and the extra frames predicted. Now, this update rate would be enough for certain consoles, of last generation consoles, where the frame rate couldn't go about 30, but again, things are severely dumbed down because us PC elitists can play at 60, 120 or more FPS. So, we on the computer we need a lot more updates to make things work nicely and smoothly. So enter the 120 Hz Tickrate server test server in CTE. A massive improvement on the part of the simulation that the server and the game client, where both will now tick or update the game physics 120 times a second. Now, this is a much bigger improvement than you might think. As I said in my previous video, the extra power needed to update this quick means more heat, more CPU usage, and more bandwidth usage, which in turn results in bigger cost, and is probably why it might never make it to games like Battlefield 4, and we'll see about Battlefield 5, and why it's not available on 64-player servers. But this is only the rate at which physics gets simulated on the server and client side. Now, the rate at which the client sends updates is the same as the tick rate, or 120 Hz in this case. The server, though, to save on bandwidth and power, sends updates at 120 Hz only inside the high frequency update area, or the bullet cone. So everything outside it still gets sent at 10 Hz to the client, or same as before, everything except the bullet damage, which always comes in at 120 Hz no matter where you are. So it's a very big improvement on how the game feels and plays. It feels much more responsive, not only in game gunplay, but surprisingly even in the player movement and everything else. It's really something. I wish you could all gaze upon it. It's so beautiful. It's like a unicorn taking off his horn. You're never gonna see it in the wild again. And just like a unicorn, these changes will also never be seen in the wild. Unfortunately, the 120 Hz tick rate is just too much stress on the server, and frankly, the providers probably don't even have that option to offer right now. I don't even know, but it would cost too much anyway to any admin that would rent the server, so I don't think it will make it to any FPS games like Battlefield anytime soon. We'll see about Battlefield 5. So thanks for watching. Please rate and share this video as it helps my channel grow. Check out my other videos at the end of this one. And remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.